Well, hello, my radio friends. Now, in this video installment, I wish to touch on a unique tuning drive mechanism that Philco employed on the Model 16 and Model 44 most prevalently. And what makes this drive something unique is that it allows for a lower reduction and higher reduction on the tuning of the tuning capacitor. Now, let me see if I can back up and give you kind of a general overview of what you're looking at here. Here is the front of the set. Here's your tuning knob, and of course your tuning capacitor to the rear. Now, as one looks at this mechanism, like I say, it does allow for shifting from a what I would call the standard configuration or standard drive to a lower reduction, which allows one to tune the sharper stations that are prevalently found on shortwave bands. And of course, this Model 44 does have it's a 4-band set, so it has 3 shortwave bands, and that's of course where the lower reduction will come in handy. Now, in order to shift from the high to low reduction, one pulls the tuning knob out or in, a rather unique configuration, a unique design, and I have to say, I have to give Philco's kudos for it. It's simple, but works very, very well. Now, I wish to touch on how it operates, but before I do, I want to touch on a general overview of what one's looking at here, if I may. I want you to look at this as 4 different drive wheels. You've got one here with a rubber O-ring. Beneath it is a larger friction wheel. Here is another small friction wheel. And here is another larger rubber drive wheel. So there's actually 4 different wheels, 2, 3, and 4. Now, when the knob is pushed fully rearward on the chassis, or the tuning knob pushed in all the way, it actually engages this larger rubber wheel with this larger friction wheel beneath it. And it essentially gives almost a 1-to-1 rotation. So when I turn the tuning knob in this configuration, one can see the wheels turn rather rapidly. Now, one will notice the tuning capacitor is not moving because I have things disassembled for clarity. Now, but I do want you to focus on this front drive wheel. This is the wheel that's actually going to drive your tuning capacitor and your tuning dial. So just stay focused on the rotation speed of this particular front drive wheel. Once again, in the pushed in a fully rearward position, when I turn the tuning knob, one will notice that this particular drive wheel turns rather rapidly. And that, of course, would move the tuning capacitor equally as well, quite rapidly. Now, watch what happens when I pull this knob out. It actually disengages this large rubber wheel from this rear wheel. They are now separated. They're not connected. But notice at this point, I have now engaged this front small wheel to the large wheel here. So now when I turn this front tuning or the tuning knob, notice this front drive wheel turns very slowly in relation to what it was just a moment ago. I'll push the knob in, and there once again we have engaged this rubber wheel here with this rear large friction wheel, and we have disengaged this small wheel from this rubber drive wheel. So now we've engaged these 2 rear wheels, large wheels, and gives one roughly a 1-to-1 reduction. I pull it back out. Now we've disengaged the rear and have engaged the front small to the large rubber wheel. A rather ingenious design. I'm really surprised Philco did not employ this in some of their other sets. It works very, very well. It's easy to repair, easy to rebuild. In fact, I posted a video just a few moments ago showing the the rebuild of these wheels. So simply remove the old rubber wheel on there and install these rubber O-rings. Works very, very well. So anyway, there is in. The large wheels to the rear are engaged. Here is forward, and the small wheel up top here is engaged to here. So it just merely changes the ratio, the turn ratio of one gear to another on one simple shaft and one simple movement. In and out. Rather neat design. Like I say, once again, kudos to Philco. It works very, very well. Well, anyway, I hope that added some clarity to it. If you should have any questions, by all means, feel free to ask. And of course, as always, until next time.